So, it looks like more than a third of Albertans would consider leaving Canada, according to a new Angus Reid poll. So, CTV put out a video on this. It's on their website. So, let's have a look, and then we'll talk about it after like usual.
Polling firm Angus Reid says more than a third of Albertans would consider leaving Canada. The numbers shift significantly pending potential energy policies from Ottawa. As CTV's Shailan Skulski explains, pundits say it puts pressure on the Premier to get results.
Alberta didn't start this fight, but rest assured, we will finish it.
Speaking to Albertans in her live address, the Premier promised a goal in that fight is to overhaul federal energy policies.
The federal government must end all federal interference in the development of provincial resources by repealing the No New Pipelines Law, C-69, the oil tanker ban.
Demands Danielle Smith may need to see results on soon.
About 1 in 5 Albertans who are really on board with wanting their province to leave the country.
According to new numbers from Angus Reid, 19% of Albertans would definitely vote to leave Canada, with 15% in Saskatchewan. If Ottawa committed to building Energy East, 65 and 69% of voters leaning towards leaving would be more likely to stay. But if BC opposed access to Tidewater, those leaning towards leaving would be nearly 75% more likely to want to go.
Listen, there is some frustration in this province, and I can't implore on just how serious some of that frustration is.
Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe stresses lowering the temperature has to come from Ottawa.
We very much believe that there's a path forward with this new Prime Minister and whoever is in his cabinet for him, and his government to change course.
Puts a lot of pressure on the Premier to get some wins from this. The good news is she's got a new partner.
This political analyst advises Danielle Smith to tone down the rhetoric on separation and work constructively with the new Prime Minister.
They think they're being clever by, we'll just have a referendum and let people express their views. But you know, once that train has left the station, you don't know where it's going. It's a really dangerous political strategy.
Nearly 80% of Albertans polled say they are following conversations on separatism closely. Shailan Skulski, CT.
Yeah, so listening to the people of your province that you're the premier of is dangerous now. Just because they have a referendum doesn't mean they're leaving. A lot more has to happen. But I think what Danielle Smith is doing is saying, hey, listen, we'll have the referendum to send a message to Ottawa to let them know exactly how many people are so unhappy. There's a reason they're frustrated. They don't like their Senate representation. They don't like how many MPs they have. They want more representation in Ottawa. They don't like the equalization payments. And considering that Mark Carney is from Alberta, you'd think he would be very sympathetic and want to reach out and make something happen, and maybe he will. But it's really hard to say, well, don't worry, a liberal government will help. I mean, it's especially, like, imagine saying that to your average rural Albertan. Like, they're going to laugh in your face, and I don't blame them. They feel like they've been screwed for over 50 years. And some of them want a divorce. So it's our job from the East not to push them onto it. There's people saying, because it's wildfire season, there's people on TikTok, these dumb liberals, they're talking about, oh, good, let Alberta burn if they want to leave Canada. Like, what kind of insane rhetoric is that? You want to talk about dangerous rhetoric? Mr. Old, whoever, political analyst, whatever your name was? No, dangerous rhetoric is saying, let Alberta burn, because they're upset. Boy, those liberals are really, they sure are loving, accepting, and tolerant, aren't they? Yeah, except for when you upset them, then they show how evil they really are. It's insane. But Ottawa needs to have a message sent to them. And Alberta and Saskatchewan are sending that message. 36% would vote to leave, according to the Angus Reid poll they're talking about. 36%. How much longer does that take to where it gets to over 50%? And then, of course, there's other things that need to happen. I don't think a separation will end up happening. I hope it doesn't. But by the time this gets closer to happening, hopefully we'll have a conservative government in there who will take Alberta more seriously. Oh, excuse me. Hiccup. But you know what I mean? Like, Alberta just feels so left out, and that they're just, they feel like the middle child that no one cares about. You know, and it's sad. I don't want them to leave. anybody who's saying otherwise in the East or anywhere else is crazy to say that. That would, I mean, first of all, that would guarantee that every election will be won by the Liberals in the future. Not to mention, if Alberta and if Alberta and Saskatchewan both leave, then there goes our oil industry, and then there goes our farming, like a big part of our farming industry. I mean, good Lord. Like, people who want Alberta to separate and who like this drama, like, they're not thinking. And again, if you're from Alberta, I know a lot of you are, and you want to leave, I get it. I just want you to know, as someone from Eastern Canada, I respect you. I want you to be a part of Canada. I appreciate you guys. And I don't want you to leave. But I get it. Because too many of us out east show you no respect. Especially when it comes to Ottawa. Ottawa's given you the middle finger for a long time. I get it. I don't want them to do it anymore. And there are a lot of people from Eastern Canada like me. But there's also a lot of people from Eastern Canada who stick their nose up at places like Alberta and Saskatchewan, Manitoba. You know, it's just the big city arrogance you have from a lot of people who live in Toronto and Montreal. But hey, I mean, listen. The best thing to do would be to work together. Just be a little bit more patient. And I know that's a big ask. But I'm very, very confident. And again, 6 months ago, I was confident Pierre Poilievre would be Prime Minister right now. Obviously, he is not. Who knows what could happen. But the Liberals have already played their biggest ace cards. They don't have another strong leader, well, someone they think is a strong leader to switch out Mark Carney or Justin Trudeau with. It's done. They have no other cards in that area. The Trump threat is going to be gone eventually. Then what? They're going to have to go on their track record at some point, and that's when they're going to get smoked in the next election. And hopefully that election comes sooner rather than later, but I don't know. It's tough. It's really hard to say. Canadian voters are so fickle. We don't know what the NDP is going to do. Are they going to, form another coalition? I don't think so, but who knows? But it's crazy, and it's getting... There's a lot of tension out west and a lot of disdain for the East because of how they've been treated. And again, I completely understand, but I don't want you to leave. It would be devastating for Canada if they did leave, because then Quebec probably leaves. They don't get that $15 billion or whatever it is a year equalization payment. Then BC's basically, like, if Alberta and Saskatchewan, join the United States, then BC is surrounded by the United States. Maybe they join too. Who knows? But it's not good either way. So Mark Carney needs to do his job. He needs to do something to make Albertans feel better. And Ottawa needs to stop sticking up their nose and their middle finger at Western Canada. Enough's enough. They're tired of it. I'm tired of it. We don't need this right now. But we have a government who is just like the last government, and they don't want unity. They don't want peace. They don't want prosperity. So it's going to be tough to appease Alberta, but hopefully once we get a conservative government in there, things will start to turn around. But either way, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Do you think that Alberta 100% is going to separate? And if so, how long do you think it's going to take? And can they even do it? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Please don't be shy. I always enjoy engaging with you guys. Please also don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really helps grow the channel. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back shortly with a new video.